Hey, resumes, career fairs, haircuts. Okay, let's get into it. So, what's going on? For the past couple of days, you've probably, if you've been keeping up, I've really been preparing for the career fair that's happening next week. The career fair is where you get to meet a bunch of companies, introduce yourself, give them your resumes, and hopefully get an internship for the summer, right? And an internship is valuable for many reasons. One, you get experience in that field. You get to know what you like, what you don't like. You get more experience that makes you more marketable towards other companies. It's really interesting how that whole marketability thing works with experience because they want you to already have experience, but then it's weird. I'm not gonna get into it. I think there's loops or loopholes to get through that. Anyways, so what I've been doing is really preparing for that. So I've been going to these events to interact with more people, practice with my interactions. And just to give context on what elevator pitch is, imagine you're in an elevator with Nick Fury, and you have like 45 seconds to kind of convince him why you should be a member of the Avengers. You have to really first you have to connect with him on like a personal level, tell him about your superpowers, what makes you different from everyone else, why you've been asked to the team. You have to make him memorable to Nick Fury because Nick Fury is dealing with a bunch of people, right? He's dealing with the Shield, maybe Skrulls, maybe Sword, all these different guys. So you have to be like, why should I remember this guy? Or, but that's pretty much it. So I've been working on that. I think my elevator pitch is a bit weak. So that's why I've been going to these different events. But in terms of my resume, that was something I think is also really important because for online applications, resumes are really what you give at first, right? And you have to first convince them with your resume. And convince, I really mean the ATS scanners, as far as I know. ATS scanners basically scan the resumes for keywords and to see if you're. This is not an expert opinion or I think entirely factual. So double check everything I say. But the ATS scanner is something a lot of recruiters use, or I think HR department. And I want to say it's like an AI system or just a system that scans your resume or a bunch of resumes for keywords and see which one's a best match for a company. So it kind of filters down the resumes, right? So you really just have the ideal resume. So first thing I had to do was because my format was really good, I think, but I had to first cut it down. So before even doing all of that stuff, I want to get some eyes on my resume, fresh eyes. So I went to Computer Science Club, got them to do a really in-depth review. I think it was actually awesome. I really love the Computer Science Club. Yeah, so they gave a really in-depth review of my 6-page resume, right? And thinking back now, it was 6 page because I wasn't thinking about like losing the interest, even though I probably should have. I think this resume was made more for college, which I think is interesting. Um, but yeah, I've also edited it for this as I sorry, this resume was made more for college applications. But now I've obviously edited it as I've entered college for my college and internships and stuff like that. But yeah, so the biggest problem was that it was too fluffy, right? Or not too fluffy, but just too much. And you really don't have that much time with a recruiter or HR department. So I had to like cut it down. The recommended is 1 page. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do that because there's a lot of stuff I want to keep, a lot of leadership experiences and passion projects and stuff like that. But what I was able to do by reducing the bullet points and decreasing the size of the margins was I was able to get it to technically 1 page. This extra page is just because I have to fix the margins and include the skills in the back page. So what's going on now is that I got this one reviewed by the this recruiter lady at Target. She was really awesome. I'm forgetting her name, but a really cool person. And the other two I got reviewed by, I'm forgetting their names. I got one reviewed by Computer Science Club. I went to an engineering resume review place, and I got another one. I got the older one reviewed just to get some other opinions on why she edited. So now I have a fresh resume that makes some tweaks to for the career fair that's next week. Another thing I also did as I was making this resume was that I used an ATS scanner online to see like, okay, how many matches or was it a good match for like the roles I was looking for. And mainly I didn't use the roles I used to use more tech roles in general. I think I should have used more specific roles looking back. But then I was like, okay, what are the keywords looking for? I included that in my thing. Just went throughout the bullet points. That okay, where can I include like leadership? Where can I include software security? Where can I include software engineering? Stuff like that. And I'm finally down to this resume that I think is really good. but I have to improve it a bit. But besides that, I think what I want to work on now is my elevator pitch because I already said before that's the weakest point. And I think it takes a while for me to get to that point where I can just naturally talk to the person. Right? You can't just go to a person like, "Hey, my name is Chico Dawes. Maybe Chico try saying that 3 times as fast. I'm a Nigerian American. I'm really interested in AI and computing. I'm also trying to double major in data. So if you guys have any data projects, that'd be really awesome. I think it takes me a while. I don't know. I think that's a bit artificial. Even then, I studied a bit too much, talking a bit too fast, not enunciating my words. I know I do have an accent because many people have told me. And I want to make sure these recruiters at least remember me. Because if they hear a bunch of words and they're tired, they're just going to like, yeah, that's cool. Apply online, blah, blah, blah. But I want to actually make a connection. So I want to do the way I best can. So even with that Nick Fury analogy I used for the elevator pitch, maybe connecting on something like superheroes might be good. Another thing I have to do is really look through those passion projects and say, okay, the second they mention something that can link to a passion project, oh, you guys are doing this. Oh, when I did this project, that was actually something I was looking forward to improve my skills in, or I actually worked on this. I'm working on my DP203 certification. That's really a selling point I think I do have. I really still have to keep on grinding on that. The DP203, just for context, is the Microsoft Azure certification. So I think that's, a lot of companies use either AWS, Amazon Web Storage, or Microsoft Azure, I think, to basically store their data on the cloud. I'm not going to get too much into that, but that's something I'm really looking to. Another company I'm looking for at the career fair is the Naval Lab Academy. I got to connect with them today at the computer science club meeting, and I think that'll be really cool to have like an internship there. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is we just work on my elevator pitches. I don't necessarily have an exercise. I think I'm just going to try and continue talking to people. I will say, it wasn't really an exercise. It was just more something where like at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. I was like, dang, I think people need more confidence, or people are not complimenting enough. So I've had this daily challenge where I try to get 100 compliments in a day, right? Just anything. I think the lowest I've gotten is 94. Like I guess the best, cause I do from 100 to 0. The best I've gotten is 94, which sounds pretty bad, but I don't know. I think I should probably improve that, but I think that's helped me become at least more confident just talking to people naturally, right? So I don't think confidence is my issue. I think it's a lack of relatability. I think that's something that's hard for me initially, just to look at someone and say, hey, unless it has something that I can particularly see, it's hard for me to say, oh, let's talk about this. And I'm not the biggest sports guy as of now, so that might be an issue because I can't just use sports as a connection. But I do think that might come into my favor if a lot of people are like, hey, are you a Jets fan? Are you this fan? I'm like, I don't know. I do think I have enough football, or as other people say, soccer, knowledge to at least have a quick conversation about that. I'm really hoping I can talk about AI, superheroes, anime, stuff like that, and just real trends in the technology world, the computing world, as another way to say it. But yeah, that's where I am. This video is getting way too long, but I really am excited for this career fair. I think I have to come up with a game plan. I keep on saying I think, something at the computer science club meeting, they were talking about 3927, basically, or 3926. So have 3 companies you're really looking towards. You're gonna put like maximum effort into. Have 9 that you're gonna put some effort into, and then have like 27 or 26 that you're gonna put like just minimal effort into. You're just gonna like go there, practice, meet them, and I really just have to come up with that game plan, because I don't want to waste all my energy on a company who's gonna be like, oh, we don't accept freshmen. But context is again, I do think there's a valuable aspect in connecting with them on LinkedIn, but that's not something I want to put all my effort into. I want to like ensure I get at least a resume or at least an interview from this career fair, and at very worst, just get a bunch of connections, or at very best, it's an interesting conversation. Last thing I'm going to talk about, because this video is becoming too long, is that on my way back from the computer science club meeting, I was thinking of a way to differentiate myself, and I remember in this resume on the back, one of the skills I had was woodworking, and like they said, it's probably best to remove that, only have technical skills. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But then I was thinking about it because the dude, the person speaking, I forgot his name. He basically said a way he stood out was like he did a QR code for his LinkedIn on the back, and what that did was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna take your resume, but I wish we could connect on LinkedIn. And then he said, oh my gosh, I have my LinkedIn right here. And then he would basically that'll make him stand out. But what I'm thinking, without woodworking skill I removed, and maybe even my ad, is I might go to the open lab and like do some like small pieces of like these small flat disc, almost like a toaster thingy, and like have like a QR code. So it's something I give the recruiter. It's like, oh shoot, that looks cool, right? And it's like, oh, let me scan this when I get back, because it's something you think about, like, oh, or when you get back to work, it's something I bring up. Oh, this dude had like this cool woodwork QR code. I haven't seen that before. It might be an investment, but as far as I know, since it's not too much wood and it should be pretty slim, um, shouldn't be too much of a problem. Lastly, as I said earlier in the video, at the start of the video, I have to get a haircut. As you can see right now, not looking the best hair wise. So I'm probably gonna get a haircut. I'm thinking of removing the beard, maybe, or sticking with a goatee. I will see my decisions later, but I think that's the last thing, 'cause I want to look presentable. With my look, I'm already doing a blazer, a business casual outfit, probably no tie. I forgot to bring my ties to Pittsburgh, but we'll see how it goes. Besides that, though, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day. Oh, last thing. Okay, sorry. OpenAI strawberry model. I know I should probably say this for a different video, but I just want to talk about it real quick just to mention it. OpenAI not strawberry model. 1.0 model has come out and basically has better reasoning. And the way I've seen it so far, and the best way I can explain it, is that it basically decomposes the task. And it's kind of funny because we're learning about this in big ideas and computing. It basically decomposes the task into like smaller steps and reasons then. Because what AI's biggest problem that I've noticed is that it's the whole elephant at once instead of starting from like the foot. So with doing this decomposing strategy, it's much easier for it to be more accurate and just perform better overall, right? So that's something I'm thinking is really interesting. I think maybe some people are calling the strawberry model because something that was happening with AI was that, or sorry, ChatGPT, and I guess largely AI, was that if you ask AI how many R's are in strawberry, it would say 2, right? And the reason for that, as far as I understand, is that one, AI doesn't actually know stuff. It goes off probability, so it knows the best chances. I think for some reason when it sees that word, it really just thinks of 2, or that's the most probable. I can't really explain that one in this video, but I think with this new model, what happens is that it decomposes the word itself into like smaller characters and counts from there. I will say though, to be fair on AI, when I first saw the question, I also said 2. So I think as someone who's like a couple years old now for the OpenAI model, it's not doing too bad. But besides that though, I have nothing else to say, so have a great day.